You are going to return the C. The same addition function we will perform in our calculator application. So that is why it becomes important for us to understand it. This the calling of the function. Fine. So from the main function, we are going to call this method add, and I am passing the number 3, 4, and it will return in some variable sum. In the sum variable, you call this method, and the sum variable you pass the value, and then you can print. Is my screen visible now? मेरी स्क्रीन विजिबल है? हाँ ठीक है. Sum is plus sum. So this is a simple program in Java for addition of two numbers that we are going to use in our calculator application as well. And that is why it is very important. Now understand, in the C language what we do, we create a simple function, we add two numbers and we will print as the addition. But now I have placed all this in a class. This should be a part of a class, because methods, because in Java is an object oriented programming language, and everything must associated with the object, and where the object lies, why add function is private, because we want to keep it in a same class. No one from outside the class should have access to this add method. If you want, you can give it the public as well. If you want, from other class as well. Let's suppose there is some other class BCD. So you want that BCD class can also access this add method. Then you can keep it private. Fine. So there is no issue as of now. You are in a learning phase. You can keep it private or public, but you need to understand the access modifier meaning. Access modifier means public. Public means public. If you are giving access modifier public to any method, then it means it can be accessible outside the class, outside the package as well, because classes exist in the package. Fine. जैसे एक इस तरीके से समझो, like तुम लाइब्रेरी में गए, you have a library, and in the library you have a different section of books of data structure, section of book of artificial intelligence, some of machine learning. So library is a entire package. In the package, library is a library. Consider library as a library. And then there is a packages of machine learning, package of artificial intelligence, package of data structure. Three packages. In every package, you have the classes. For the data structure and algorithm, you have foreman. You in for the data structure, you have some other kind of classes, other kind of a books structure. Fine. It is a very layman. So now what you want, like if you have a package section of data structure books or a machine learning, then you want the people who have the access of data structure can only access the books from data structure section. They can't access the books from machine learning. Fine. So you keep the machine learning as a private. If you want the people of data structure can also access the books of machine learning, then you keep it public. Understand? So this is very basic idea behind access modifier. Similarly, the private, as I explained, it is recognized to the same class only. And there is one more, protected. It is accessible within class and within same package. And one more is there, default, that is similar to protected with a difference, with a little difference, like it's about sub packages. So you can just, when you read it deeply, then you it's better to. So for you, you need to just understand public, private. That's it as of now. So public, so now let's I took it a public, fine. This is I'm commenting it. So this is the access modifier. Now static, why I keep it static? Because this main method is static. This main method is static. Why I keep it static? Because main method is called by the compiler, and compiler should able to call this main method directly, because this is the function through which a program starts. And who starts the program? The compiler. So compiler should call it because it's a static. Thus compiler can easily call this without the object. Compiler don't need to create any object. It can directly call because it's a static method and it belongs to the class. Now next is void. Void is the return type that returns nothing. Void is that return type that returns that this method returns nothing. So void is return type, and it means it returns nothing. Fine. Then you have this string AR. Now what's this? Now string, this means array of string type. Basically, why main function take this as argument? Because this is called the command line argument. This is called command line argument. When you remember, you give the inputs in C language. When you write a program and it asks to give the inputs, so this is that argument. When you write a program, you can give the program through the command line. But right now, I'm giving a hard coded 3 and 4 value. The value 3 and 4 to addition. Fine. Now this is the add function I am calling. How? Because yesterday I told you your question would be, so you told us like method is called by the objects and object belongs to the class. So and methods need to be called from the object. So one more thing here, there is a hack. The thing is, because it belongs to, because this is a method static method, and static method belongs to the class, it's not belong to the object. This static method has no link with the object, it is belong to the class. So basically, if you made any method static, then you can directly call it with the class name. And if it's in the same class, then you can call it directly without object. Now, a question would arise over here. So, sir, we don't need to create any time, we don't need to create any object. Any object means, sir, we will create all the methods static. Create all the methods static, and then we will don't need any object, and we will call it directly. So now here you need to understand, you can't make every method static, because the static keyword is load your code at the compile time. Getting the point? Compile time. Do you understand this thing? What is the meaning of these terms, compile time and runtime. Anyone can write in the chat. What is the difference between compile time and runtime? These two terms. This is very important terms. Anyone? I'm waiting. Memory allocation. Yes, it is related with the memory allocation in the right, Prachi. It's memory allocation at a compile time. At compile time, memory is allocated to static method or variable. But in the runtime, when you are going to execute the code or you are going to executing, then at that time it is loaded at the runtime. Fine. So before compiling, before executed, the exact execution of the function get executed, the memory executed. So that is called, that method is called, or the variable is called statically. So static and dynamic is runtime and static is at compile time. So basically, if you made any method static, then it loaded at the compile time. And we don't want that every time. We only take static methods. So your question will be when you have become when you're going to be in a development phase, when you become developer, then keep in the mindset only made those method statics that you are going to take in the utility. Utility means like you want to convert date format, like you want the format ddmmyy to convert it into ddmmyyyhhmmss. Like this is the utility function, fine, because every class did that. So you can keep it in the memory so that any class anytime can call it without creating the object of it every time, because it is not related to class object, it is everyone's need. So it is a utility. In the same way, other utility method is like to check the string is empty or not. This is again a utility method. You need to check like this string is empty or not. You can create a method, utility method. Fine. This is the way you can create a. This is the need of the static methods at this point. I hope you getting my point. When you should create the method static, the method that is needed by everyone, not related to a particular class, but to everyone. This is a very important point I'm telling you because it is related to the memory, and you can't give anyone any away your memory like this. Fine. So let's run this program. I hope you got this point static, and this is very basic line. Everyone can understand. A plus B addition of A and the B, and it is its value assigning to variable C, and I'm returning the C, returning the sum, returning to whom? Who has called this add method? Who called this add method? From this function it is called, and it is passed to sum, and I call the sum. Now I'm going to save it, file, save as abc.java. I am taking it as a, saving it as a Java file, Java, and I'm saving it. Now I'm gonna run this class. Excuse me. I'm going to run this class. There is a abc.java. So let's open the command prompt here. Now Java C abc dot Java. Now it's trying to compile. So now you can see I have created a file. Look, this is a generated class. ABC, it's a class file. First we have the ABC Java file. Then we compiled it with Java C and it become a class file. Any doubt? We now can we call static method in different class? Yes, you can call this a static method, but it should not be private. Remember this, it should not be private. You need to keep it public, fine? How this path is set G Android projects. No, no, man, this is like any folder. This is a folder in your computer. In your computer, you create a folder, na? So this is G Android training projects. I have created a folder. Just focus on this only. Let's suppose I have created when running Java C. Okay, fine. So you mean like G Android training projects Java C ABC.java. It's don't see anywhere like suppose like you are in the G drive. Fine, G drive. You can create a new folder. You can create a new folder. I have already created a folder this. Go inside this folder. Then click here, click this and write CMD and click enter. Then command prompt is opened and it will be appear like this. And here you just need to write Java C abc.java. Java C is available because it's available in global environment. It's available in global environment as I have shown you in environment variables Java version. As you can see here, Java version. So Java is installed, globally installed in my system. So I can access. We use Java ABC to run the program. Yes, we will run the Java ABC dot Java. Fine. Sorry. ABC dot class. Java ABC dot class. Sorry, could not find loan ABC dot class. Uh, Let me check. Java ABC dot Java. There is a, let me check what's the exact, because we generally used to run it directly through the IDE. Now after a long time, I am running it through the command prompt. Only type Java ABC is okay. Okay, fine. Java ABC. Let's run it. Okay, fine. Someone has suggested me Java ABC. So sum is 7. Fine. So that's the answer we got that. Uh, Sum of two numbers is 7. 3 or 4 that we have given. So this is the way to write a Java program. It's very easy. Static void main sum of sum we call the add method, and this is. Now anyone have any doubt in writing a basic program of Java, please write it here. Right now I'm resolving the issues. Is class file is automatically created after compilation? Yes. As I run Java C abc.java, so Java C is your compiler that compiled the abc.java file and convert it into the dot class. I'm writing dot Java file converted to dot class. Can you please repeat how to set global path for running Java? Okay, global path for running Java is very easy. Right click, public is also belongs to class. Right click on the PC, properties, advanced system settings, environment variable. Then here you can find out there is a variable called path. In the path variable, click add it and you can give C program files, Java, JDK 1.8 and bin. Provide this path. Copy and then paste in the path variable. If you are using Windows 10, then when you edit it, there is a list or parts available, then add anywhere and then apply and then OK. So here you can add. Also don't forget to add Java underscore home. This variable Java underscore home you can give because it's gonna use in Android Studio. Android Studio will use that Java underscore home. I have set this Java underscore home. This is any third party application who gonna use this Java will find through this Java underscore home. Can we write code in Notepad? Yes, you can write the code in Notepad. This is I have used Notepad plus plus and save.java. Any text editor will do, but the extension should be .java. Yes, sir. How to connect database in Java program, sir? Please help me. That we will see it later. How to connect Java program database? We will see it later. This is very beginning. This is very starting, very basic because everyone not on the same page. Some are beginners, some have already have experiences. So, but yeah, this is for everyone. So we need to do accordingly. How to connect Java program to database? We will see it later. There is like you must understand the basics, then you can easily do this. There is 3 line of code only. You needed a database name, you needed the driver, JDBC driver. You needed the JDBC driver for that. Fine, it's a third party library you need to add. We will see it later. No issues. So, how to write Java program? I told you. This same program you can do it by creating the objects that we will see through Android Studio. Any doubt which DB we are gonna use for Android? We will use MySQL, and for in the beginning we will use the Android own database. An Android database worked on MySQL. SQLite. The database name is SQLite, which is Android own database. I'm writing the name of the database Android SQLite. This is a light database of SQL. Can we use MySQL as well? Any problem? No problem. You can use MySQL. Okay, now let's begin to create an Android project. Shall I start? Create a new Android project and let you know the anatomy. Okay, so let's begin this Android project first. Create a new Android project. Click there. Create a new Android project. No annotation will not be provided. So I am going to create a empty activity. Empty activity. Next. So I'm going to create a empty activity. What's this activity? We will see it through the presentation. First of all, I'm telling you how to create a project. Next, now my application. Name the application like my first app. This is the name of the application. I'm giving the path to the application where I want to. So this is the location where my application will be created. Name of the application package. Now this is very important. Your question would be like how Play Store understand like which application is, because you have seen like many times with the same name there is number of applications on the Play Store. So play the identifier is this package. The name of the package must be unique, otherwise the Play Store will not accept your application. Fine. So package name must be unique and it's in like x.y.z dot you can give any as well. I mean like in the four x.y.z.abc, anything you can give. So this is the basic x.y.z. You have to give in this format only. Now language you can choose. Can we store the app anywhere or Android Studio specific folder? Anywhere you can store your app. Anywhere in any folder. No issues. Sir, when we set location, we have to select where Android Studio install. No, no need. Just open the Android Studio. It's a exe file. Okay, fine. So it's the same location you give. Now language. You can select Java or Kotlin. Java and Kotlin. So we are doing in the Java programming language. Now minimum API level. This is the minimum API level that you want your application to, you want like up to last least which API you want to your app to be support. Getting a point, let's suppose you select Lollipop. So from Lollipop devices, your application will be available. If you select anything less than Lollipop, for example, Jelly Bean or Ice Cream Sandwich, fine. Let's suppose you select Ice Cream Sandwich. So your app will start supporting from Ice Cream Sandwich. Now its consequence would be, let's suppose you select the ice cream sandwich from ice cream sandwich. Now there would be issue like you designed your application, you took some libraries, you written some code accordingly which supports the API level 5 from API level 5. Some widgets. Some widgets means some like buttons are of those material type. Some buttons design is like that only supported from Lollipop, then they would be shown your ice cream sandwich devices. Getting my point? So at least Lollipop you should take. If you go for ice cream sandwich, then there might be issues that can come in the ice cream sandwich devices. Okay, now finish. Basically the API level, if you see any releases of the Android, just whenever there is a conference from Google, just go through it in the YouTube and that. With every new Android version, we bring a API level. What if we took jelly beans? That is, I already mentioned. If you take the jelly beans, then your application will start supporting the jelly bean devices as well. Fine. Now, if you write some code in your application that somewhere specific to the API level, like let's suppose you have some buttons, material design buttons, fine, and that material design buttons are started supporting from API level 21, which is Lollipop, fine. So at that point of time, your Jelly Bean will not support that button and it will display the very bad version of button. It may give you the issue while in the perspective of the view. Like it will not show you the button. It will not show you the button in Jelly Bean because your design is accordingly to from the API level 21. So it is that. So if you are using Jelly Bean, you can use no issues, but you must be very focused. Like what kind of code you are writing, it will not affect the Jelly Bean users. It should not affect the Jelly Bean users also as well. Right. Now, as you can see, our project is new project is about to ready because Gradle sync is started. Gradle sync is started and process is running. As if I will show you, two processes running, and here you can see app check debug manifest. So build failed. Many of you also had these kind of error. Let's check what's the error. So you too got these kind of errors. Let us resolve. Android text runner, Android test runner, test runner, test runners. So basically, this kind of error generally comes when there is a in that we have that test project as well. So two test project is created. It's because we have in the build.gradle we are using two test modules. We have the two test modules. Android test Espresso, JUnit. So to avoid this error, one idea behind this, just because we are not doing any test cases, we are not going to write any test implementation, just remove this. Just remove this. Everyone, are you able to see if you are facing such errors? Android text test runner, there is a merger failed, manifest merger failed with multiple errors. This kind of errors stated manifest merger failed or Android test runner validation failed. So this could be avoided if you remove this, and then sync again. Many of you might have definitely faced this error. Now I'm syncing it again. Now let's check if the issue still persists or not. See, build successful. Now our project is created successfully. Now anyone still have any queries? So what are dependencies? I'm going to explain it. But why I told you this, because many people have faced through the errors. Many people gone through these errors. I checked in the Telegram group as well, so they can fix this in this way. This is a merger failed exception. So I'm telling you, I'm repeating it again. Control Z, Control Z. This was the Android test implementation. Basically, they are the test libraries of Android. Fine. So when it's run, it gives me error of merger, manifest merger. I will explain you what is manifest. Uh, uh, you can take sandwich ice cream, no issues. As of now, as you are beginner, you can take any basic, any whichever is available. You can take any minimum API level. Fine. Any minimum API level you can take, no issues. Once you will become like in the development phase in a higher after 1 or 2 months, then you should be very much careful about taking the minimum API levels. As of now, whichever is available, whichever the minimum API level you have downloaded, you can select that. Now, like if you are getting this error, build failed due to manifest merger failed with multiple errors, or you have test runner exceptions, you can delete this dependencies. These two dependencies you can delete. They are making this merger exception because they are of same. Right. Can you please repeat once again to create new project? I have just created this new. Nothing is there to repeat, like new file, new project. you can do in this way, new project, and then select all those. Fine. Now let's read about this build.gradle. What is this? Let's understand what is build.gradle. Please listen carefully. It's very important thing. Basically, what is Gradle? Gradle is a build tool for Android application. There is one more alternative to Gradle, that is Maven. Maven is again a build tool. So Gradle and Maven, these two are the build tool for Android application. What is build tool? Basically, you can understand it like a compiler. The way of compiling of the Java code, this build tool what builds, it generates all the, I mean, from the SDK tools, it it collects all the files, all the dependencies what is used in this entire application. This, so all the dependencies are in the Gradle, and these dependencies are loaded in the application so that application get compiled. In the, it is everything in the build.gradle, that is compiled SDK version, build tool version. Now this is very important. Build tools version. Basically, I am using Pi Android 9 tools version. All the classes that belongs to API level, all the like build tools that belong to API level 29, as I have shown you. So that build tool version will use. Compile SDK version 28. This is the SDK version. What is that SDK version? Software Development Kit version. You guys might have used 31. Fine. What is 31? 31 is Android 11. Android 11 का है जो SDK version है, that is 31. तो basically you are aware that Google जो हर साल and especially दिवाली के टाइम, दिवाली के आसपास गूगल का कॉन्फ्रेंस होता है. फाइन. तो उस टाइम एंड्रॉइड नई रिलीजेस लाता है. तो हमें पता होगा लाइक एंड्रॉइड 5 के बाद जब एंड्रॉइड 6 आया था मार्च मैलो, तो मार्च मैलो में बहुत बड़ा चेंज आया था, बहुत बड़ा चेंज, जिसने काफी लोगों की एप्लीकेशन क्रैश कर दी थी. काफी लोगों की एप्लीकेशन क्रैश कर दी थी. तो वो क्या चेंज था, कोई बताएगा? एंड्रॉइड 5 के बाद एंड्रॉइड 6 आया था, तो उन्होंने अपने एसडीके वर्जन, अपने एपीआईज में क्या चेंज किए थे गूगल ने एंड्रॉइड में? What are the changes that Google made in the doing the transformation from Android 5 to Android 6? Anyone? No. Permissions. तुम्हें पता होगा, यस, रनटाइम परमिशंस. तुम्हें पता होगा लॉलीपॉप तक क्या होता था, लाइक एंड्रॉइड 5 तक, अप टू एंड्रॉइड 5. Whenever you download any application from Play Store, you have to provide all the permissions to the app. It can access your contacts, it can access your call logs, it can access your messages, everything. It has the access, your gallery. But from the Android 6, what Android did, the developer, the app must ask the runtime permission, so that if user can run the application, user can use the application. If he don't want to allow his contacts to be shared, he can he can deny the permission. I don't want to share my contacts. Let's suppose if someone, if from the Android 6 this security feature came. Otherwise, that was ruthless, because let's suppose I develop any application and upload it on the Play Store. Fine. And some user from the Play Store download that application, and I write that script, like to collect all the contact lists from his contacts and save it on my server. Because once he download my application, user has to allow the permission, like to this application has access to the contacts. Fine. And any third party application, if has the access to contacts, he can take your contacts list. He can fetch your gallery if you give the permission of gallery. So this is the thing that you don't like to give anyone that feature. Like any application can take your personal stuff. So that is why that it was a need. Fine. The target SDK version, yeah, 28. 28 is the Pi. Features of Pi. Now build type. Here you can give in the build types, like if you are when you develop any application that is for the production, then you can define in this build types. You can define the flavors. That's the thing that you need to see later. Now dependencies. Dependencies is very important. क्या मैं उसको ऐड करूं अपने कोड में? किसे? सर मेरे को बिल्ड वर्जन नहीं दिख रहा है, तो क्या मैं उसे ऐड करूं अपने कोड में? कहाँ पे नहीं दिख रहा है? एंड्रॉइड के मेथड में, एंड्रॉइड के मेथड में कौन से मेथड में? आई डिडंट गेट योर क्वेश्चन. ये अभी build.gradle फाइल है. दिस इज build.gradle फाइल. Here you can see if my, let me open the magnifier. See, this is the project structure. This is app and that is Gradle script. If in the Android might be your open like this in the project. In the Android Studio project, IIT Guwahati and this. You can select from here this Android. Fine. Then you have the Grad app and then Gradle scripts. In the Gradle scripts, open the build.gradle module app. Now there you can see all these details. Where you have the dependencies. Now I had the question, someone asked me what the dependencies. Dependencies is the third party libraries or the Android own dependencies. Fine. App compact. Basically this is very important. How it is important? Because the activity through which this Android works around, the activity is provided by this dependency only. This is the layout, constraint layout. If you want to use it, you can have this. Then file tree, directory, libraries, including jars. This you must write this line file tree, because any .jar you are including, any libs you are including. So it's, if you not write this, then you not able to include any jar file in your app. Fine. So this is important. When I tried running it, got no target device found error. सर आपने 28 किया है, सब में वो करना जरूरी है क्या? मेरा कोड ऐसे ही सक्सेसफुल रन हो गया है फाइल ट्री, फाइल ट्री आई एक्सप्लेन कि अगर आपको कोई भी फाइल इंक्लूड करनी है तो वो कौन कौन सी सपोर्टेड हो, तो लिब्स फाइल होनी चाहिए, डॉट जार, स्टार डॉट जार, कोई भी फाइल डॉट जार है तो वो आप यूज कर सकते हो, इंप्लीमेंट कर सकते हो। नाउ वन क्वेश्चन, लाइक 28 जरूरी है क्या? 28 नॉट नेसेसरी, मेरा पुराना यूज कर रहा हूं मैं, सबके 31 आया होगा, किसी के 32 आया होगा, इट्स ओके, वेरी मच फाइन। डिपेंडेंसीज क्या होता है समझ नहीं आया? फाइल ट्री इज नॉट देयर इन माय एसडीके, सो देयर वॉन्ट बी एनी, देयर वुड नॉट बी एनी प्रॉब्लम, कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं होगी 31 हो या कोई भी वर्जन हो, बिकॉज अब लेटेस्ट आ गया है, तो यू मस्ट, बिकॉज यू हैव डाउनलोडेड इट यस्टरडे ओनली, तो यू मस्ट हैव एवरीथिंग लेटेस्ट। डिपेंडेंसी समझ नहीं आ रहा, डिपेंडेंसीज मैं एक बहुत लेमैन में समझा देता हूं एक बार। लेट्स सपोज तुम्हें तुम्हें आगे की स्टडीज करनी है, एंड अभी यू आर नॉट अर्निंग पर्सन इन योर फैमिली, फाइन, in your family only earning person is your father, but you want to do higher studies, so you have a dependency on your father for money. If your father won't provide you money, you won't able to further study, or you go to the bank for the loan. So bank, again you made a dependency on the bank, fine, खुद से तो नहीं कर रहे, खुद से अर्न कर रहे हो तो then that is well and good, तब तो you don't need any dependency. बट अगर खुद से नहीं कर पा रहे हो, यू नॉट एबल टू डू इट योरसेल्फ, यू नीड अ डिपेंडेंसी, एंड दैट डिपेंडेंसी इज कमिंग थ्रू अ फादर और आइदर अ बैंक. In the same fashion, Android is doing same. This Android has a dependency. Android is a dependency on this Android X. This is Android X SDK. Fine. This is a dependency on the Android X. This is a Jackpack. Fine. Through this, Android getting its classes. See this main activity, if you see, it's not giving me error. From where this app compact activity came? If you see app compact activity, then from where this app compact activity came, and it's not giving any error. This is, look, if I press control and uh, taking my cursor to it, control, I press control and then taking my cursor. Look what it's showing me. It's showing me, look, Gradle, Android X.app compact, same library that you have implemented as a dependency. So these classes provided through this dependency. I hope you got all your questions of the queries. Now, get back. If your app not giving any error uh, and the configuration is different from me, then it is okay. I am using old configuration. You guys are using new configuration, latest one. I'm using the old configuration, so no issues. If your app is, if there is no error in your code, if no error in the console, fine. So let's do it now. What I'm doing now, before going to the anatomy, what's this in the app, like what is manifest, what is Java, and what is resource, let's come over the presentation through which you will able to understand. let's understand the architecture of Android. So there is a layered architecture of Android that I can show you in some other presentation. Then we have the libraries. We have DX tools that used to convert .class file into .dex file. So basically it is a kind of, for you as understanding, this is a kind of the compiler. Just like we convert .java file into .class file, आपको आज दिखाया था मैंने, जब .class file convert हुई थी, .java file is convert हुई थी .class file में, जो हमने देखा था इसमें देखो, ये .java फाइल थी, इसको मैंने कन्वर्ट किया था सॉरी ये जावा, इसको डिलीट कर सकता है, ये जावा फाइल थी, इसको मैंने कन्वर्ट किया था क्लास फाइल में जावा सी से कंपाइल करके. इन द सेम वे डीएक्स टूल एक इंटरनल टूल्स होते हैं जो कन्वर्ट करते हैं डॉट क्लास फाइल को डॉट डेक्स फाइल में, डालविक फाइल. दिस डॉट डेक्स फाइल इज डालविक. फाइन. दिस डॉट डेक्स फाइल इज अंडरस्टैंडेबल टू एंड्रॉइड. जैसे जावा को समझ आती है डॉट क्लास, ऐसी एंड्रॉइड को समझ आता है डॉट डेक्स. एक एक्सटेंशन होता है डॉट डेक्स, जैसे डॉट क्लास एक एक्सटेंशन होता है, इसमें बाइट कोड लिखा रहता है. फाइन. ऐसे एक डॉट डेक्स करके होता है जिसे बोलते हैं डालविक फाइल, जो कंपाइल होती है. डॉट क्लास फाइल ही कन्वर्ट कोड होती है जो एंड्रॉइड अंडरस्टैंडेबल होती है. नेक्स्ट. Now this dot class file that contains bytecode should be readable by the machine. That is machine understandable. That is machine understandable code, and this is done by JVM, that is bytecode. Now similarly DVM, Dalvik virtual machine, reads the .dex file and convert it into .apk. Yesterday someone was asking me in the Telegram chat what is APK, Android package. जो तुम्हारी प्ले स्टोर पे एंड्रॉइड एप्लीकेशन डलती है वो .apk होती है. एपीके क्या होता है? डॉट डेक्स फाइल जो होती है वही एपीके में कन्वर्ट होती है. फाइन. और नाउ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट क्वेश्चन, तुमने ऐप बना ली, अब तुम्हारी एपीके जनरेट हो गई, एपीके बन गई, अब चलानी कैसे है, वो कहां मिलेगी? वो एपीके यहां पे मिलती है. देखो ध्यान से देखना, तुम्हें एंड्रॉइड एपीके कहां मिलेगी? जब तुमने ऐप चला ली वो एपीके कहां है? वो एपीके बनती है ऐप में, बिल्ड में, आउटपुट्स में. यहां पे जनरेट होके आएगी जब हम रन कर देंगे एप्लीकेशन को. क्लियर है? नोट करिए इस पार्ट को. यहां पे सेलेक्ट करना प्रोजेक्ट, प्रोजेक्ट में प्रोजेक्ट पे आए, देन ऐप, ऐप में बिल्ड, बिल्ड में आउटपुट्स. यहां पे एक एपीके बन के आएगी, उस एपी को अपने फोन में चला सकते हो. और एक होगा, हम यहाँ पे डिवाइस को सेलेक्ट करेंगे, अभी जैसे ही मैं अपना फोन अटैच करूंगा तो यहाँ पे मेरा फोन दिखाई देने लगेगा. क्लियर है? फोन में सेटिंग्स करनी पड़ेंगी डेवलपर ऑप्शंस में जाके, वो मैं बता दूंगा क्या क्या सेटिंग्स करनी है. हर फोन वाइज डिफरेंट होती है. रिपीट अगेन, चलो मैं रिपीट कर देता हूं. मैं ये रिपीट कर रहा था कि आपने एप्लीकेशन का कोड कर दिया, फाइन, कोडिंग डन. अब तुम्हें एप्लीकेशन अपने फोन में चलानी है. अब तुम्हें एप्लीकेशन अपने फोन में चलानी है, कैसे चलाओगे? दो तरीके हैं. एक, डीबग करो, यहाँ पे जाके डिवाइस आ जाएगा तुम्हारा. जब अपने डेटा केबल से अपने लैपटॉप में लगाओगे, यहाँ पे तुम्हें डिवाइस दिखाई देने लगेगा. कब दिखाई देने लगेगा? एक कंडीशन और है. कब दिखाई देने लगेगा? वो तब दिखाई देने लगेगा जब तुम डेवलपर ऑप्शंस में जाके डीबगिंग ऑन कर दोगे अपने फोन की डीबगिंग ऑन करनी पड़ेगी। वो कैसे करेंगे मैं बता दूंगा अभी। फिर यहाँ पे दिखाई देने लगेगा, तो सेलेक्ट करके और यहाँ पे रन करोगे तो तुम्हारी फोन में ऐप चल जाएगी। दूसरा तरीका, ऐप को रन करोगे तो अगर किसी को देनी है वो एप्लीकेशन कैसे दोगे? ऐप ऐप में गए, बिल्ड में गए, आउटपुट्स के अंदर यहाँ पे वो एपीके दिखाई देगी। तो अभी हम करेंगे, रन करेंगे, मैं अपना फोन को अटैच करके दिखाऊंगा, वो एपीके यहाँ पे दिखने लगेगी। क्लियर है? तो वो एपीके यहाँ पे मिल जाती है। ओके, इंग्लिश प्लीज, सॉरी। So that APK will be visible in the base in the output folder. I will show you, like once you in the developer options you need to on the debugging and your device will appear over here. Fine. So through this you can see. Now let's get back to the presentation. It is asking host name. Who is asking host name? So we could not please speak in English. Okay, sorry. Let's be in English because some people were yesterday wanted to Hindi. Let's get back to the presentation again. Now, what's the use of the DVM rather than like why DVM is used in this development? DVM has lesser memory consumption, so because it uses registers. Register, you know that like if you are from engineering or from other sectors, like we have a memory units in the hardware. I'm talking about the hardwares. Hardware may we have the registers, we have the stacks, we have the this like RAM, ROM, we have the registers as well that store the memory. Registers are used for saving memory and power. There are lots of framework for Android such as Hibernate and Spring, also the Eclipse on which now like how to install and run upon Eclipse if you are going to develop. You can develop your application in Eclipse as well. Fine. So but yeah, now these days Android Studio is very popular. So we will use the Android Studio only. Now basically one more question here. Let's get back to the project anatomy. If I show you just like yesterday I've shown you, this is an app, this is a source folder, and there is like in the Android I'm going, there is a resource, there is a layout, and there is activity underscore main. Fine. If you see there is a layout and there is a text view. This is XML code. This is XML code and this is Java code. This is XML and this is Java. First question. Now here are the number of questions. Number 1. What question you have in your mind, people? I mean, like you are going to develop Android application. So how it is constituted with? It is constituted with Java code plus XML code. Now the question arises, how Java and XML are integrating. Question number 1. Question number 2, how XML code get parsed. Number 3, Parse means compile. Number 3, how Java code will compile. Now I'm waiting for your answers. Guys, anyone? I'm waiting. Acha, you must know that. That is why I explain how Java code compile. I shown you this. Sorry, Java C. When we have the abc.java, we created a abc class. So Java C is used to compile the Java code. How XML? So XML as the parser, internet parser. Either there is a SAX parser. Where is the chat? There is a one is a SAX parser and other is DOM parser. Fine. So you must read about it, how this parser works, that is internally. So yeah, but just in a understand or a understanding purpose, these parser are used to parse the XML code. Parse means compile, to convert. Fine. Java code I told you, JVM. Just like here we have the DVM, Dynamic Virtual Machine. First JVM, convert into dot class. Then, as I shown you in the PPT, DVM, that is the docs file, that is the second part. But initially JVM converts to dot class file, then DVM convert dot dex file later. So DVM work is later. Both are types of file. JVM and XML both are. XML is used for design layouts. Now a very yes, I will send it later. After the completion of the session, I will share the PPT. Now, a very important thing I am going to show you through the Paint application. I am creating a device. Please see it very carefully now. Very important thing is going to start. This is your Android app. Sorry. This is your navigation bar. Then you have something like uh, something, and I mean like Insta, and at the below as well. There is some on this, on this design sort of. Now let's suppose there is a button. Come on. There's a button. There's a like text box. There's a text box. Right. Now my point is why I'm designing this. This is a paint application. This is a paint. Why I'm designing all this? Basically, I'm going to tell you through this what is XML layout and what is activity. Fine. So the portion that you are seeing here, let's suppose this design, this design, this this button, these menu items, this navigation, this all design in XML. That is UI. Now let's talk about the UI is created, UX is created. Now the functionality. Are you able to get my point? And this Java code is called activity. You can have in a layman, you can understand. Let's suppose there's a, if I create a shoes, although it's not a shoes, but yeah, I'm trying to make a basic, let's suppose it's a shoes. Fine. Let's suppose this is a shoe sole. Shoe sole. Fine. This is a shoe sole. Base of the shoes. This is called your activity. Now you are putting some design over it. Let's suppose I'm putting a design. Design such like this design on the shoes, some top extra this some designing I'm going to do over it, this some back design, some extra spikes in the shoes or anything. I'm not audible. Am I audible?
Yes, sir, you are audible, sir.
Okay, fine. Sure. This shoe sole is our activity and the design part is your XML. I hope you got my point. If it's a single basic activity, a plain activity over which, just like this app you are seeing, this design part is XML. Now perform on the button, clicking on the menu item, all the code is written in the Java activity. Activity is a Java code. Clear? Now what's the purpose of taking XML and Java? The purpose is to design just like HTML, CSS, JavaScript that people use in Xamarin to design application. Here we have the XML, and to click on that button to perform to addition of two numbers, the logic, the business logic, all that the code in the activity. Cannot we use HTML here? No, we cannot use. You can go with the React Native, you can go with the Flutter, you can go with the Xamarin for using HTML because HTML works on the web view. And in the React Native also you are not going to use HTML. That is CSS and yeah, sort of HTML. So this is how activity and XML appears. Now, a very important thing I'm going to discuss now with you. This. What is written over here? This is activity life cycle. Now, what is activity life cycle? So, activity life cycle is the life cycle your application will appear to you or is dismissed to you. That is, I have an software in the second session. I will use that software that will display my mobile phone. Fine. I am going to share my mobile phone with you. All those stuff. I will share my mobile phone with you, and through which let me that I will share the screen of my mobile phone as well through this software. I had that software. What's the name? Visor. This Visor is a software that connect my window to the Android, through which I will be able to display how my phone AVD manager is also there. Let me try. My AVD manager is working or not because it takes so much memory. It takes time. No, I haven't created any virtual device. And if I will create, then it will take a lot of time. I will share the device only. You can have virtual devices, no issues. I can use this visor. Fine. Once I in the next session. I must be very careful as I will share my personal phone. So yeah, activity life cycle. We have the methods on create, on start, on resume, on pause, on stop, on destroy. Now everyone must carry their phone on stop and then on destroy in the end. So सबके पास अपना अपना phone है. Everyone carrying his phone in his hand. So basically, if you Let me connect my phone. Better to display you right now. Give me a minute. Oh, here's my data cable. Okay, I got my data cable. Let me connect my phone. Visor, you don't need Visor. I'm just using it for my own purpose. You don't need that Visor. It's using for connecting the desktop with the mobile phone so that I would able to share my device. Now it's showing me Visor Redmi Note 5 Pro connected. Installing the Visor in my system. Open. Fine. So this is now my mobile phone. As you can see. Are you able to see my screen? The mobile phone you are able to see? Okay, fine. Mobile phone you are able to see now. Basically, I'm going to explain you about like I take a application life cycle. Now let I have destroyed all the application. Now I'm opening a very simple application like where is my train application, a very basic application. Now when I click it, on create call, on start call, fine, all create call. Now what's this? A dialog came and the now if you see, if compare, this is on create call, on start called, on resume called. Fine. On create, on start, on resume. Now activity is in running. This application activity is running. Fine. Now, how I can say this is in on pause mode? Now I press back button. This activity is in on pause because the activity comes because the activity is in as the dialog appears. This is in pause mode. Fine. So it is in pause mode. Now, as I press back, now it's on stop and on stop because it is not no longer visible. So again on create, on start, on resume. ठीक है? अब मैंने ये वाला बट now I press recent task. Now which method is called? Which method of the life cycle has been called? On pause, on stop is called or not? No, on restart not called. On stop called. On resume no, not on resume. Let me clear you again. I am destroying it now. I press back. Fine. Now I'm telling you again. Fine. Just look it carefully. Click the application on create, on start, on resume because activity is in foreground. Foreground means you are appearing it clearly. It is in your foreground. Fine. Clear. Now I'm pressing the back. Now which method called? On pause, on stop, on destroy. It cannot directly jump to on stop. First it is goes through the on pause, then on stop, and then on destroy. Now I am running a application for you guys because I was telling you how to create any application and how to run. Now if you see previously this Xiaomi Note Redmi Note 5 Pro was not appearing. Now it is appearing. Yes or no? Are you able to see? Fine. So this Xiaomi Redmi Note 5 Pro is appearing. Now I'm running the application. I'm just clicking it. Let me have something in that so that I will be able to show you something, some buttons or something fancy. I'm taking a linear layout. I will explain those layouts in the next session. We will learn about the layouts. We will discuss about all those properties. The properties that I'm writing, we will discuss it. Okay, this button and this hello world, this will appear. I can give the margin from the top or I can give the padding to it. We will discuss these. What is padding? What is this? All those. Padding. Padding. Okay. Padding I am giving like 10 dp pixel density. Now you see little bit down. Button is little bit down. Okay, now I am running the application. Let's see what happening in the in the build section. What's happening? My application is building. It's generating the debug resources. It generate debug resource values. Just note it down. Debug resource value, debug resource. We will discuss what is layout. We can arrange it manually on XML file. Yes, we can drop also. But I suggest to use the text because in the text you can customize the way you want. Because when drag and drop, there is a issues in designing. You cannot place anything anywhere. There is some firewall allow access. Let's check the progress of the application. Gradle build running. Once the Gradle build completed, my application will appear here. So if you see there are very important lines are returning. Java resource, compile debug sources, merge debug resources. So what are those resources, assets, manifest? These are very important terms that we're gonna see. I just noting it down so that we'll see you later. Resources, layouts, fine. This manifest. These are those important terms that we need to see. Gradle build finished. Let's check what's happening. Install via USB. Install. Now this application is started. This is my first app. This is button that is clickable. You are clicking the button and this is the text hello world. So you can see your first application that is installed and that you can see here my first app, this. Now the point is how my first app appeared. I mean the title. How can I set the title? I'm writing down the questions. How can I set the title of the app? Fine. How can we add button, sir? That I have shown you. That button that is you are able to see in this application. This button. This button is available through this activity underscore main.xml, which is present in res in the layout activity main. Then I used, there are the two ways, design or the text. I select the text mode. In the text, I have set the button. That don't think about that much how I edit the button because that we need to learn it. Fine. In no activity layout main activity Java and XML. So now I have shown you this because now we are learning the activity life cycle. I will show you how this life cycle is managed. Fine. On create, so I am writing it now log dot info or debug log dot d on create called. Fine. What's and tag I need to give tag as well. Tag activity. So button I will let you know later. We will see how to create an application. This is the workshop all about. We need to learn it. Fine. Right now I am trying to learn you something else. Just focus on that part. Activity life cycle we are learning. On create, on start. On start. Log.d on start called. On pause. On pause called. Forget about the on resume. On resume. On resume called. Then we have on stop called. And then we have on destroy. on destroy. Fine. Control Shift F9. Sorry. Now I'm running it again. You will see all these methods called in the logcat. This is the logcat. This is very important. I'm just taking it for the selected application. Activity, and it's for the debug D, because I have that debug type. Fine. I change it to main. Override, what this override? This override comes automatically because there are so many abstract methods. Yesterday I told you in Java what is abstract, what is interface. So basically these are the methods on resume, on pause that we override. Override means they are already present in the app compat activity and we are just using them to track, to trace like what are the methods are calling. You can perform any functionality of your code in this method. Like when the activity appears, when resume appears, like you want to show some message like toast, like you want to display a text, hello IIT Guwahati. This message will appear you on resume when the application is in resume. Fine. Let's show. Let's and we will see it through the log. I am running the application again. Fine. Just wait and watch. This application. Now application going to start. Just look at the logs again. Then this is started. Now on start call, on resume call. Clear? On start call, on resume call. On start call, on resume call. Fine. And activity, this is not appeared because I didn't write main activity. Sorry, it's my bad. Let's run it again and see it carefully again. Fine. I'm running the application again. Application is running. Wait. Gradle is still building. Now application closed. Now it will run again. Now check carefully. There is a hello IIT Guwahati. Hello IIT Guwahati appear on create call, on start call, on resume call. Fine. How quickly they called on activity. So why I have shown you to understand the life cycle. Now I am pressing the back button. When I press the back button, the rest three methods also called. On pause, on stop, on destroy. Clear? So this is the way a life cycle runs. First on create method, then on start, then on resume, then on pause, then stop, and then destroy. Now the question you guys have related to Java. I'm explaining you one more time override, about the override. Yesterday we were discussing about a topic abstract class and interfaces. Look what I have written. You have to override its function to define own implementation. Similarly, abstract class that abstract class can have both abstract method and non-abstract method. Abstract method meaning, a basic meaning. क्या मतलब है abstract method का? Abstract method means hide, hidden. Hidden मतलब छुपा हुआ. क्या छुपा हुआ? मतलब basically एक मेथड आपने बनाया, अ मेथड यू हैव क्रिएट, उसमें एक बेसिक फंक्शनैलिटी एज ऑलरेडी रिटन। एक चीज समझना, फर्स्ट टाइम एक्सप्लेनिंग यू इन हिंदी, देन मैं आपको इंग्लिश में बताता हूं। हिंदी में पहले मैं बता रहा हूं कि क्या मतलब है इस एब्स्ट्रैक्ट टर्म का। एब्स्ट्रैक्ट का मतलब ये है कि कोई चीज छुपी हुई है। छुपी हुई क्या मतलब है? छुपी हुई का ये मतलब है कि आपने एक काम करना है आपको, एक बेसिक काम तो है ही है, प्लस अगर किसी और को वो काम करना है, उसमें कस्टमाइजेशन, उसमें चेंजेस करने हैं, तो अपने अकॉर्डिंग चेंज कर लेगा, लेकिन एक बेसिक काम तो करेगा ही करेगा। जैसे एक आपने लिया, एक डॉगी है, डॉगी है, उसका बेसिक काम क्या है? वो बात करेगा, वो भौंकता है, वो खाता है, और बाकी के जो काम होते हैं वो करता है, बेसिक काम जो सुबह वाले काम होते हैं। सो ये जब चीजें हैं, ये एक बेसिक चीजें हैं जो एक एनिमल, एक डॉग कर रहा है। भौंकना, उसके पास चार पैर है, उसके पास सॉरी दो पैर है, दो हाथ है, जिसे हम बोलते हैं फोर लेग्स, तो एक डॉग है। ये उसकी बेसिक फंक्शनलिटी है। अब उस डॉग को तुमने पाल लिया, यू इट्स योर पैट डॉग, एंड नाउ यू आर ट्रेनिंग दैट डॉग। उस डॉग को तुम सिखा रहे हो कि अगर मैं बोलूं प्लीज कम, तो डॉग कम टूवर्ड्स यू। तुम उसमें और फंक्शनैलिटी डाल रहे हो। फाइन, डॉग की फंक्शनैलिटी क्या है? वो भौंकता रहे, खाता रहे, लेकिन तुम उसमें और फंक्शनैलिटी ऐड कर रहे हो। दिस इज द एब्स्ट्रैक्ट, दिस इज द सेम थिंग, एब्स्ट्रैक्ट एंड इंटरफेस। लाइक उसकी बेसिक फंक्शनैलिटी है। फॉर एग्जाम्पल, now it let me come in the real life, I mean in the real programming, on stop. On stop basic functionality is written in this. When you call on stop means you are calling the on stop function of this activity, a basic functionality that app should stop. But on the stop of the app, what you want to do? You want to do something else. You want to perform your work. When app get stopped, you can perform. Just like what I'm doing. I'm just logging. I'm logging. Like app is stopped. I'm logging. This is kind of a work now. Even if you have seen that in the on resume, in the on resume, I have shown a toast, a pop-up. And you felt that. See, again, a pop-up appears. Hello, IIT Guwahati. Look this pop-up. So this is the method overriding. This method is already present. You have to override it and give your own customization. Now, any doubt in this? Override means this on resume on pause already exists in the base class. Now you are giving your own functionality. What is the, you are again still on the modifier. What is the difference between protected and public access modifier? This is Java question. I've explained you, man. Basic question. Coming again. Protected, it is accessible within class and within same package. Public, accessible outside the package. If in the real terms I explain you, let me show you. This is Java and my package name is com.management.myfirststep. Fine. There is a class main activity. Let's suppose I'm creating another class, but in different package. Let's suppose I'm creating another package. New, a package I'm creating, my test package. Fine. Now I'm creating a class, new Java class, some package test plus. Now let's I'm making some function in that, protected, void print hello system dot. Hello. Fine. What is the response regarding sharing the code? I didn't get your question. What kind of a response you are expecting? What is your response regarding sharing the code? अच्छा code which I need to share with you. Yeah, see, abhi we are in the beginning of the workshop. Let's let the workshop goes like after 2-3 days. First understand the basic now, then you will able to understand the code. We'll share it later. Fine, the entire code, but not now. So why application got destroyed as it is still available in recent tabs? This is a nice question. I press the back. It's still there. So now the answer of this question coming from the memory. Let's come to a memory. Are you able to see my screen? Okay. Fine. Now this is your this is called stack. Basically this is stack. You know that what is stack? What is stack? Basically stack is a data structure. The way you putting your data is managed by a structure, and that structure is called stack, just like queue. For example, like first in, last out. Fine. First in, last out. The last in or first out post, you can say. So main activity, when you launch the main activity comes in this stack. Let's consider main activity as A. Fine. So here I am taking A. This is the activity A1. Fine. It's in the stack. Now, when the activity loaded in the stack, its lifecycle method on create, on start, on resume called when it is in stack. When you press back button, it start doing on on pause, on stop, and if the activity removed from the stack, then it is in the on destroy method is called. Basically, if I go to the app and then press it again, it loaded it again. Fine, it's showing you in the recent tabs, but it is not in the in that memory, in the stack. It is not in the stack. It is not in the stack, it is somewhere in other memory. But it's not in the stack because if you see it load it again. Getting my point? Let's suppose if I uh, press this button rather than that. Let's see it again. You will be more clear with this experiment. Let's clear this block. Fine. Now, this is activity open on resume. Now I'm pressing the home button. Clear? I'm going to press the home button now. Which method will be called? Anyone? Which lifecycle method will going to call? Write your answer. On pause. Only on pause. Only on pause when I press home button. On stop also. Why? If you see the definition in the presentation, or explaining you, like in this presentation, on stop, the activity is no longer visible. In the pause, activity is visible but in background. In the on pause, activity is visible but in the background. But in the on stop, activity is no longer visible. Now, let's get back to our code and then to the screen. Now I am pressing the home button. If you see, only on pause, on stop call, not on destroy. On destroy not called because it is still in the stack. It is still, activities is still in the stack. But when I press the back, it removed from the stack. I hope I answered your question. Why on destroy is called? On destroy is called because it is removed from the stack. So when you click on the application from the recent tab, it again get loaded from beginning where you have lost. But in this scenario, when you press the home button, now you will call it in the home button. Now I click it. Now the activity, since it's on stop, so after on stop, it's get restart. On stop, it gets restart. Restart is called and then start. Clear? Because it is not destroyed. Now on create will not be called. Mark the point. On create will not be called in this scenario, as you can see here in the logs. See, on start, on resume called. On create not called. On create not called because on destroy didn't call. So please, this is important thing because whenever you are creating any application, you need to manage the life cycle. कि किस method में क्या करना है. When you are in the application, now what I need to do, in which method I will do. Clear? You need to initialize the variables, you will do it in on create. Because one more thing, when I change the, if you see here, now I'm doing trying something. I'm rotating my device. Let's check what happens if it's rotated. See, on rotation, on destroy, on create, on start, on resume. This is very important point. I'm doing it again. I'm clearing the logs. I'm showing you again. I am rotating my device again. Now check the methods. Now check the methods. On pause called, on pause called, on stop called when I rotate the device. Then on destroy, it removed from the stack. Fine. So you have to manage it by yourself. On create, on start, on resume. Let's suppose you have some data over it now. Let's suppose you have calculated some data. 3 plus 4 equals to 5 and you are displaying over here. 3 plus 4 equals to 7, you are displaying over here. Now when you rotate the device, it again becomes 0. It becomes 0 because the text that you are appearing is now get destroyed. Everything destroyed related to that. it is started again. You need to press the button again. You need to calculate it again. So you need to manage it. So that is why on the zoom, when you rotate the device, your question is, yes, sir. On the zoom, when you rotate the device. On rotate the device, life cycle is started again, destroyed and then created again. Note that point. Very important, especially if you are going to sit in any interview. So how you manage? This is the question. So you need to use this bundle saved instance state. Then take another question, please. Which question? Please complete the first question. What's your first question? Can you repeat? Prashant? What is the difference between protected and public? I explained you how many times I need to explain. This is a class is in another package and this is your current package. If you want to try to access this, you won't able to uh, you won't able to access it because it is outside the package. It's in different package. You want to access the print hello, you can't access. If it is public, then you can access it from main activity. If it is public, then you can access it from the main activity. I hope Prashant, you got my question, you might got my answer. Package is different. Package is different here. This is my first step package, com management, and this is my test package. In this package, I create a class in which I keep a method public or protected. Save instance is not equivalent, is not default, right? We need to code it right. Yes, Ivan Tommy, very right. You have to do it in the saved instance state. You have to check. You need to put it in the saved instance state. First of all, you need to put it in the saved instance state. This is work like a key map. This will work as a key map, and then you need to fetch it. If saved instance state equals to, once you put it in the saved instance, it will not remain null. You will get it. Fine. So this is the very basic of the activity we have learned. I hope I have covered activity life cycle and you must understand it very well. Okay. So that's it as of now in this session, because it's so much things. This is not just a single page. This is the complete application is this about this on create, on start, on resume, on pause, on stop. Can you share PPT? I think PPT has been shared on the Google Drive. If not so, I will ask the admin to share. No issues. You can take a screenshot of this, like do it in this way, like right click, sniping tool. Take a sniping tool and with the sniping tool new, and then you can take like this. You have that image just as an example. Although PPT will be shared to you, I'm just telling you. Will be shared. If it is not shared, I will ask the admin to share it again. I have I have shared it on the WhatsApp group to the admin, but yeah, it is not shared to you. Okay, we'll do that. let's understand it. Any doubt? Anyone has a doubt understanding the what is activity? Because now we are moving towards the layout and the other those points that I have written in my text file. These points. What is resources? What is layout? What is manifest? I'm going 10 minutes break. Let's join 10 minutes break. We will join 12:30 for 1 p.m. 12:30 to 1 p.m. 12:30 to 1 p.m. we have to discuss. In half an hour, I will give you overview and they are important. Because my question is how to set the title of the app. How to change the icon of the app. Let's suppose this is my app. Fine. How to change the icon of this app? This is default Android icon. How can I change? How can I change the icon like Telegram? Fine. So these are the questions that need to be answered. So let's 10-minute break. Okay. Well, joining again by 12:30. 12:30. Fine. 10 minutes break. Hello guys. So अभी तक like from last 2 days, what we are doing, what how we are progressing. तो कुछ informative लग रहा है? Do you think like it is informative and you are learning? या बस ऐसे ही I'm broadcasting and you are just listening like a storytelling, or you are really working on it. You are learning. You are noting it down in your notebook, and you are doing live like the way I did the logging. You must need to understand the logs, how to write the logs, and what is the purpose of logs. So let me share it my screen again. Let me show you the logs again. Let's come back on the logs. Basically, some people knows that about log. What is log? और log क्या होता है? तो log का मतलब है यू आर ट्रेसिंग. आप ट्रेस कर रहे हो किसी चीज को, आप पता लगा रहे हो. गेटिंग माई पॉइंट? यू आर ट्राइंग टू आइडेंटिफाई वेयर इज द इशू. तो आपने लेट सपोज आप यू आर गोइंग टू डू सम एडिशन. तो बिफोर डूइंग द एडिशन you give the logs, like what are the values, what are the parameters you are going to add, and after the addition you put a log, like what's the status, what's the value after the log. So you are tracking everything. Fine. So that is why you use that log. When your app will be in production on the Play Store even, these logs are the survival only. Through the logs you will identify like if any issue occurs at the production or the development even, how you will identify like what's the error basically, what's the up to where your code executed. So this logs is helpful in that time tracking. Now the point is log.d. Why I call dot d? The d means debugging. If I go inside it, this is, you can say, see, it's a static method. Static method that is directly callable. No need of object. So log.d directly call the function. It needs two argument tag. Tag means in which class this log is printing and what's the message. This on create called. So this is the way of writing the log. And it appears here. All your logs will appear here in the log cat. This is log cat. And if you want debug, if you want to see the debug app, debug. If you want to info, you can select the info. Fine. Information, this only in the log class, there is not only debug, there is info, info method is also there, info. There's error logs also that you can paint with log.e. So this is the logging, and this is very important. Now, now let's start. What's our, sir? Can you talk more saved instance state, like why we are using on create, why not on stop? save instance state, why we are using it on create and why not on stop. So like we are using on create because in the on create you always got this variable this on create as a argument called bundle. Fine. So this bundle class holds in a key value pair. For example, you can put over here like you create something like let's suppose you have some value. In the on stop, basically we don't need that. In the on stop, we when you again open the application, it will stop from the same place. So at that time, we don't need. Getting my point? In the on stop, we don't need to put it in the bundle. The reason behind the on create will not call. The on create method, basically the work of the on create is to load the resources. To load the resources. So every time the onCreate method not called. OnCreate method only called if its onDestroy method is called. Tag and message identifier are displaying errors. Bundle, if you want to read, you can control and then click enter. Bundle is a mapping from string keys to various parse label. Basically, if I write like this, bundle dot put, like you can put here character, you can put here string char sequence, you can put integer value in that. Like for example, I'm putting here like some key, fine, and some value. And then you put it into a bundle, fine. Now in the but this kind of a thing you can do in the on destroy if you want to do that. Some key and value plus 5 in the bundle. Now if I check, and you need to pass it, I can debug it as well. How to debug it? Now let's take some debugging. I attach a debugger to it. How to debug an app? How it is working? Let's see it here. I debug the app. Now app is in debugging mode now. If I check saved instance state equals not equals to null, but at that time it is null because it is nothing is put in this. Let's destroy the app and recreate it because bundle is a new variable, so you won't able to find it here. You need to store it somewhere, like in some application level value. I tried it like this way. I destroyed. Now, as you can see, we found the error, and the error is mm, super error is the super keyword is used to keyword parent class. Now, one error as you can see null pointer exception. Why? Because at that time this bundle is null because saved instance state is null and it passed in the bundle. So bundle we have to initialize with the bundle equals to new bundle and don't put this like this. Fine. Am I audible? Am I audible? Okay, fine. So basically now we need to store this. We need to store this data like bundle. Everyone has asked me. Bundle is just like similar word that we use in our general in a layman language. Like bundle that holds the data, entire data, to keep it, to move it somewhere. So basically, when our activity recreated, we need that bundle. Fine. So there is a one more method that we need to override to store the data on saved instance state. On save instance state. Fine. So in this on save instance state, basically we are save our all the data before calling the super. We will put out state dot put int some key and comma value. Fine. And then we will check it over here. If this, then I will print the log. Now this plus is used to append two values on create called and then with the space and then this is a value that we are printing. So the use of plus here is appending. I am running the application. Application is started. Now I am rotating my device. We'll check like what's the value we found. Did we get something in the log? On get value is still 0. some key, I put it in, I put it int some key. What's the value initialized with? Value is 5. I need to put something here like 6. Let's run it again. So basically, hello. सुपर का यूज ऐसा है, सुपर बेसिकली ये तो आपने ओवरराइड किया है, दिस मेथड इज ओवरराइड बाय यू. So you need to at least call a parent method as well, because if you not call the parent method, if you not call that, then it will not work. Then it will not do its basic work. To perform its basic work, you have to call its parent method. So super dot on destroy will call its parent method to destroy, to resume, to stop. Similarly, on create says you have to call the super. And what is at the rate override? Override is you are overriding the method, overriding the parent method, parent class method. You are giving your customization, but you need to call it. Override means at the rate override, it means you have to override that method. You have to give your own implementation. How to use log.d and message. As you can see, log.d is for debugging. Anything that you can see in the logcat, that is in the debug mode. The logs that appears in the logcat, that is for tracking. I have already explained you. Sanket. I told you now what is log.d. And message is what you want to display over here. This log syntax is not working. Why this log syntax is not working? As you can see, log dot I, it takes two arguments. One is tag, string tag, and one is string message. So enter, you have to write something and then comma something, and then that's fine. With this tag name, you can find out here in the logs. With this tag name, this is used to tag, and you can select the only selected application. This application you have selected, only this will appear. This text will appear on start and on resume. So bundle is your data structure, kind of, you can understand, like hash map. Fine. And in the on create you will have the same sense. I need to find it out why this is not printing that value 6, because it should print same scenario get int some key k capital. Okay, the issue is k was small, some key. Now let me run it again and we'll check now what's the value in the logs. Now on create, on start, on resume call, I rotate the device. Now if you see, value is 6. Fine, it is restored. It is restored, everyone. Last time we saw that on rotating the device we were getting value 0 because it is not stored, but you can save any value in this out state dot put int and you can store your value in this, and then in the on create method just need to check if saved instance state not equals to null. If it is not null, then get the value with the key name. The key name is some key. So saved instance state dot get int, and with the key name you can get. So the method is save instance state. This method is used to save the instance state. Save the instance state means, let's suppose your instance is in vertical position, your device is in vertical position, and you need to save the instances, I mean the variables, the values. So you can save it here. You can save it here, and in the on create you just need to check if it is not equals to null and you can fetch. So this is the way. Clear? Now let's move to those points that we should discuss: resources, layouts, and manifest. Just 5 minutes I will take now from now. This is structure, Android app. This is a package. This is Java folder basically. Come on. Now this is RES, which is called resource. Now what is resources in Android? Your layouts, your application images which you are going to use, your text type, everything related to the UI is in the resource. Fine. So let's first discuss about drawable. What is drawable? The image that you see when your app launch, this image. This. Remember? When your app launch, when I shown you this is that icon. Fine. And this is your foreground icon. Behind that, I mean, over that green grids, over that green grids, there is this icon. So they are placed in the drawables. How it is created? Through the vectors. This image is created like this way. Some some kind of Android code that helps to make this like half circle. You can create it using the HTML, just like you can create it with the XML as well, HTML, CSS. This round, in this round, and then those things you can create with the help of vector. Also, now let's discuss the layout. Layout is basically what I was showing you in the paint. Remember I have designed this mobile phone. Remember? Are you able to see my screen now? Yes. Can we make a JPG? Yes, you can use the JPG. You can use the JPG, you can use the PNG for the icon. But it is recommended to use only PNG because PNG of a small size. You should not use JPG in your application. Otherwise, there will be issue of loading of the icons in your application. Fine. So take the images like which are of 100 KB, maximum 100 KB, because icons are of very small, 2 KB, 3 KB, or less than that even. Fine. So this is the layout. This is called the layout. Those who are asking, sir, what is layout? This is the layout in which you will place your like let's suppose you have a sign in form. Getting my point? Let's suppose you have a sign in form where you have a username, then you have a password, and then you have a confirm password, and then you have a button that says come on, let's say sign in or sign up. When you have an email or a password and then confirm password. So this is the layout in which you have three added text box. These are called added text box. What are this? Added text. The name of the, just like in XML, you remember you have the label, you have those text boxes. So label, added text is for edit some, I mean, edit some text, edit text. And you have the text views for the label, text views for the label. Just like if let's suppose you are going to write here like username, username, and then you need to enter here the name like Lalit. Fine. So username, label, and this is the edit text where you are writing Lalit. Now this is the button on the press. Now your task is when press the button, fetch these values and compare these. Fine. Like password will be something. Let's suppose password. Password value is password star 123. This is a password. Similarly here, password, confirm password 23 star 123. Now when you press sign up, you will store it in the database. And then when you sign it, you will check that with the username and the password is right. So this is the input that you have taken in the layout. Yeah, we are taking the break. Just give me some minutes, just 1 or 2 minutes. We will take the input from the layout and we will do coding on it to save. We will do the coding for save the data and compare the data like fetch. And this is the design you have created. Fine. So in the next session, we will design this by understanding how to design the layout. Then we will code how to save the data, how we will compare the data. Clear? That's the now break. We will start by 2. Start by 2. Fine. Bye bye. See you in the next session. Any doubts? Be ready with the next session. Thank you.
Dear participants, you can take a break and we will again rejoin at 2 p.m. sharp.